What's going on YouTube? Welcome to the next installment of the ER to PR series. Starting off with some pause squats here. This is going to be our secondary day, as you've probably seen. And pause squats are a great way to practice control, isolate any weaknesses you may have. Teaches you how to be tight in the hole, out of the hole, and make sure that you can expose any sort of weaknesses you may have. So I always find that whenever I'm squatting, coming out of the hole is always where my center of balance can get shifted. I can come down pretty, linear. But when I drive out of the hole, there's a little bit of forward movement, and sometimes it will pitch that bar forward. It may roll a little bit, and it'll throw off your balance and make your squat less efficient, potentially putting you at risk. So, just emulate it here on the SSB, and you'll find here, it's just like a quick pause. It's nothing too complicated, just enough to kill momentum and then restart the lift there. So making sure we're hitting the same depth and just kind of going from there. And you can kind of see, the forward lift and shift going forward there. So that's something that's just integral to like my squat. I can't get around it. It's a proportion thing. It's a long femur type of thing. So in order for me to mitigate that, I can squat higher, which I don't really enjoy. I'd like to never have to worry about squat depth, but it is what it is. You got to make do with what you have and squat the way your body wants you to squat. So working up here, warm-ups are going to look the same. Pretty standard, but we're not going to go as heavy with these pause squats. They are a great way to get a nice isometric hold, introduce a level of overload you may not get from the, constant tension type of squats. You can get a really nice pump if you hold that isometric for a little bit and then drive out. That muscle's working in that time frame that you're paused, but you're going to reinforce a lot of technique. And obviously any position that you focus a lot of time in, do a lot of work with, you're going to get better at that position. For me, that's going to be in the hole like I mentioned before. So that's the game plan there. Also helps that it's a variation that won't tax me the same way as doing heavy SSB or like high reps. So allows me to get in the gym, do what I need to do without overloading myself too much. And you can kind of see here on the side, I'm just driving, trying to keep everything nice and tight as much as I can and come out of the hole. And these are looking pretty good, so I'm happy about that. And just practicing that balance maintenance. Obviously this SSB is going to try to pitch you forward. So it's a nice way to like practice your counterbalance and keep your hinge when you squat to make sure that you're loading those hamstrings correctly. So doing the same here on the belt squat. And I'm really just kind of mirroring what I was doing before. If you do the same exercise 3 times a week consistently, not only are you going to burn yourself out if you don't vary intensity, but you'll get bored. And to be honest, I wanted some change, something to look forward, to a different challenge and something to just keep it fresh. So I'm not against changing stuff as long as I can do them safely. And you're going to see in these subsequent videos after I'm adding stuff, taking stuff out, changing the format, as I'm building confidence not only in myself to recover, but also knowing that I can put myself in these positions and, not worsen my injury. So all that comes from experience. Somebody can tell you exactly what to do, but if you don't understand it, if you have no knowledge of why you're doing what you're doing, it's not worth much. So you got to experiment sometimes, do stuff for yourself, figure out what works, and then just keep running with it. That's essentially lifting, is picking a handful of exercises you like that hit the muscles you want to hit. Keep doing it, keep adding weight, keep adding reps, and that's how you grow, get bigger, stronger, and introduce that type of resistance and accommodation that, gets you stronger, takes you to the next level. So another angle here, and it's kind of cool because of that, I don't want to call it a Reebok type of line, but you can kind of see almost like a stickman drawing where my hips are when I'm squatting. And on the SSB, you can get deeper. On the belt squat, not as much because it's more of a hinge backwards than, your knees driving forward just because of the way it's built. So, but more ham curls here. Like I said, mixing it up, variation, intensity. Go lighter weight on here, obviously, because you're not doing the bilateral movement, you're doing the unilateral movement. So you can kind of work that muscle out in a different manner, strengthen things individually if you have any sort of imbalances. I would recommend doing both just to get a comprehensive not only workout, but like a comprehensive balance, muscle and muscular chain there. So that's kind of like what my whole process has been. That's why I'm not really doing upper body or really anything that would imbalance potentially both biceps. So when I'm doing the bicep rehab, I'm doing both sides at the same time. Obviously, my right side is ready to go, has been ready to go, but I don't want to introduce those imbalances that could affect the lifting long term and have to deal with that. I'd rather just start from the bottom, scratch with what I've got, build myself back up, and then be able to coast and kind of do what I'm doing. Obviously, try not to get injured again, but really just essentially introducing what I was doing before, train the way I like to train, and get back to being strong again. So another installment, more squats, more legs on the way. Maybe one day I'll open up a video and there'll be some upper body. But thanks for commenting, thanks for liking, and thanks for subscribing. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.